Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to your Photoshop challenge. My name is Wade Acuff and I will be your host today. There's a starter file in the description below. It only has a prompt. I'll be reading it here in a minute. If you want to get involved or join these challenges, there are links below for that and also links to our Discord. Okay, I'm already out of breath and I have to say hi to chat. What's up, chat? Get ready. This is going to be an interesting one. So let's just go ahead and get started because there's not a lot of time. All right, so fantasy panorama. We're going to use Adobe Stock assets to composite together a panorama style fantasy landscape. Yes, we are going to do that, but I don't do photo composites. I know how to. I don't do them day in and day out. If you want something like that, check out Nathaniel Dodson's streams from earlier in this week. Covered all of the stuff you need to know for some really nice panorama. We're going to be fast and loose with our composite because we're going to end up, hopefully, if there's time, we're going to end up making something like this. And it's just going to be animation in Photoshop. We're going to try to get there, so hang tight. We'll see if we can make it. All right, first, I'm going to start with a new file. Let's see, new, and already have this set up. Your panorama, whatever you find on Adobe Stock or wherever you're finding your stock may be different. The same process will work. And I'm just going to grab this and drag it out. Taking a minute. There we go. First thing I'm going to do is trim these edges off. Crop this in slightly. Oh, don't do that, Photoshop. Enter. Sorry about that. And I'm going to go ahead and rasterize this because I know I don't need it as a smart object yet. All right, so rasterize this layer. The first thing I want to do is separate our sky because we're not going to use this sky. Full disclosure, I made a sky that will work for us, but I will cover how I made it. But first I do want to select using our object selection tool. And let's see how good of a job it will do. Looks pretty good to me. There might be some edges in, if you really get in here, because, this is a panorama. So there's a lot. Well, let's see. Maybe we can grab this. I need to stay on task. I really do. I really need to stay on task. Okay, that didn't work at all. Okay, we'll go with this. I'm going to press Control Command Shift J after I make a copy. You know what? I don't need that copy, so I'm just going to Control Command Shift J. Then we have this sky. It is separated. There's probably a halo around it, so if you have the time, get rid of the halo. The next thing I want to do is I kind of want to flatten out this whole surface. To make it not so lumpy when we animate it. So I'm going to bring down a guide that's just kind of towards the top here. And then I'm going to copy by holding Control, sliding down to make a new copy of our panorama. Is it panorama or panorama? You guys tell me. I'm going to grab this again, lasso tool. I'm just going to kind of come along the edge of this and come out somewhere in here and grab a big chunk of this. Because what we're going to be doing is making a repeating pattern horizontally. And just so that when we make our sphere, everything will line up. Okay, so I'm going to press Control or Command T for transform. Come up here to my warp tool, and I'm just going to pull this up. Holding down Shift so it stays, well, it kind of doesn't stay vertical. It doesn't matter. We'll fix it later in the repeat, but I'm just kind of bringing this up to where I think it's going to match the other side. And again, fast and loose. And I just want a gradual slope. So I'm going to call that good. Good? Okay. Then the next part is, let's see, let's bring in our foreground grass. We've seen both of these images already. I've used both of them previous examples, and I'm going to scale this up. It comes in as a smart object. I want to scale it up And I'm just going to be using the texture of the grass in front. Press enter. Grab the marquee tool by pressing M, selecting the area I want to keep. And then right down here, press this for creating a mask. And now we have that mask. I am going to paint with black on our mask to make sure I can fade this out a little bit. I have a brush with a little bit of a soft edge to it, and I'm just going to sweep along here. Like I said, this is going to be quick and easy. Not really trying to blend too much. You could spend a little more time blending and color correcting. But for our purposes, we're just going to keep moving along. The next thing I'm going to do is grab, where are you? We've got a little castle in here, and I'm going to put it out. And I'm going to use that little ridge that was running along the back here as a place to kind of tuck in our castle. Use the natural landscape to find the places that work for you. I'm going to hide our guides with Control or Command H to hide extras. Go back to our object selection tool, grab our castle. Hopefully grab our castle. Okay, it did it. I'm going to come down here again and add a mask. And then I'm going to scale this thing down. And you can check to see, like, are there edges? Yeah, you see all these white edges? Not the best. It's going to be fine, but if I were really making this a composite, and you could make this whole challenge about making a composite, but I'm not really going into depth on how to clean up edges and that sort of thing. But I'm just going to tuck it in here, and you'll see that I'm breaking, I am trying to break the sky plane, like make things higher as I bring this back up. You'll see you want things that kind of jut off of the out of frame, or not frame, but out of the horizon line. All right, I am going to paint a little bit around this. I'm going to paint with white this time to reveal some of these edges, some of this area, just to help this maybe blend in a little bit to the landscape. You've been to this castle? That's awesome. I don't know a lot of details about the images I picked, so I hope they're fine. Okay, so cool. We've got something going on. It's all right. It's fine. But I do want to take a minute to kind of talk through how you can use an image like this that has atmospheric perspective, which is how you see the lighter image, this mountain range in the back. I'm just going to grab a brush, something maybe with, let's see, that, and I'll add a taper to it. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Come in here and just add some shape dynamics. Turn my pin pressure for my diameter. Turn that on. That's just so I can control this brush a little better. But using the image that you're working with to give you, it gives you all the clues to make things appear like they're in the distance, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use the panorama. I'm going to select this by holding Control. Oh yeah, I sliced that. I'm going to merge. I'm going to make a copy real quick. I'm just merging these down to cover up a back area. Okay, should be good now. I'm going to use this as a mask because we're going to paint in a little fortress, a little bitty addition. And yes, I said paint because we're just going to use the paint. You could go and find an image if you'd like and put it in there. That's fine. I just wanted to demo how you can use the clues that are given to you in the photo, how you can make things appear further away, besides just using scale. So now I've got the panorama selected, Control or Command, and just clicking on the shape. I'm going to come up here to my mask, to this fortress. Let's name this fortress. Fortress. I don't know. It could be anything. City. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to hold down Alt or Option when I press my mask because that's going to give me the opposite of what I selected. And then I'm going to select, let's say we want this, this city fortress to be this far back, this mountain range. And I'm just going to hold Shift. Uh-oh. Make sure you're on the right part of your layer. I'm going to hold shift and just drag upward. And I'm going to make a big old tower. Several of them. How about we do one at a time? And all I'm doing is making multiple strokes kind of on top of each other. And then maybe just doodling a little bit. And I'm a little too far, close to this. I actually don't want to be this close. I want to be out here somewhere so I can see what it looks like zoomed out. And I'm just going to paint this. You can do whatever you want. You can put in your own thing. I'm going to add one back here just so it looks like there's multiple things going on. But I'm just using the clues and everything that's given to me in the, literally sampling the haze that's in the background. I'm going to duplicate this layer real quick. Merge it down just to add some, oops. Grab both of them, Control E to merge. We lost our mask, that's okay. So it's given us a little bit of, that distance going on here. If you wanted it to be even further back, you could grab, let's turn our sky back on because I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna darken it slightly. I'm gonna grab, turn transparency on using this. It's only going to use the pixels that are opaque to paint with. So I'm grabbing a foreground color, making it darker so that it'll stand out against our sky. But it's only going to let us use the what we've already painted to create that. It's darkening the pixels that already exist. So I'm just kind of scribbling this in here. This may not be for you. If that doesn't work for you, that's fine too. But let's take a look at the full image. I think that's okay, even if it's just an object, something in the back. Doesn't have to be perfect, especially for this. But we do need to move on to making this seamless because I want to show everybody that. I'm going to grab all of our layers that we just worked with. In fact, I'm turning that one off. I'm going to just make a copy in case we need them. I don't think we will. I'm going to put them in a folder and hide them. But I'm going to merge everything down. We don't need the sky. Like I said, I'm going to bring in the sky later. I'm going to grab everything here and Control or Command E to merge it down. Now I'm going to pop into View, Pattern Preview. Click OK. It's just saying that works best with smart objects. Well, not today. We're going to use this with pixels. And we can check how this is lining up. And I can hide these guides on the edges. This is just showing us. You can either look down here and see, oh yeah, that's not working out. Or if you want to do it on the image you're working on, you can press Control H and it will hide that as an extra. And then you can come in here with a brush or whatever you want and like try and make this. Let me grab something that's a little more opaque. And then, oh, let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I just kind of brush that over. And I want to get rid of that. Again, just kind of loosely painting. I just kind of want that to be covered up. And then you can use the stamp tool, classic stamp tool, press S or come over here to your stamp tool. Press Alt or Option, Alt or Option to sample an area. And then just paint over. Now, you do have to be on the canvas to sample. I can't sample from the pattern. Another thing to note is if you select an area and you're trying to affect that area, you're not going to be able to affect the area that's in the preview of the pattern. But when I come over here, it is selecting the area on the canvas. So just so you know, you will be able to affect it. It's just you won't see the results over here until you affect this area. It takes a little getting used to, but it's not too hard to figure out. All right, so we're at a good place. I think we're gonna head over to make this effect happen. I'm gonna change our pattern preview, turn that off. Okay, so we have our, I'm gonna rename this landscape. You know what, I'm gonna name this world. How about that? Because we're kind of making our own world here. All right, now this is the technique that is going to get you to the animation stage. Let's see, do I want to trim this? Yeah, let's go ahead and trim this. Image trim, just in case there's something hanging off the edge. Should be fine if it adjusts anything. Okay, cool, we should be good. Okay, now image rotation, flip canvas vertical, because we're going to use polar coordinates, but for us to be able to do that, we have to make some adjustments to the image size. So somehow I lost a pixel. That's okay. It's still going to work, I promise. This should be 1900, but it's 1899. So match your height when you go into your canvas size. So 1899 is going to be the new image size, and it's going to squish everything together just like that. And then we're going to go into, let's see, filter, distort, polar coordinates, click OK, and we should get a little world going on here. So we have something, if we wanted to right now, we could just grab the transform, but there's an issue. This is not in the center. It needs to be in the center, because if it's not in the center, it's going to wobble. It could be cool. You could find some way to make that fun. I'm not sure offhand how that would work. But what I do want to do is make sure for these purposes that it is in the center. Good thing, because we need to make this a smart object in order to be able to use the transform in the timeline. And we'll bring the timeline up in a minute. In fact, let's go ahead and do this now. Window, timeline. Make sure you guys can see everything. Create video timeline. I'm going to, let's see, maybe I might need to take a few steps back, because I did not bring in our sky. Yeah, you know what, let's back it all up. It's okay, we can show, flip canvas, trim, okay. Sorry, we're gonna back this all up. This might put us in a bigger time crunch. I do want to bring our sky in here. That's the only difference. I want to bring in our sky before we start flipping and doing things. I think we're looking pretty good on that. I'm just going to bring it up slightly. I think we're okay. Then now we can do all of that again. Image rotation, flip vertical. Cool. Image canvas size. 1899. Click OK. It did not. Let's see, I had this happen before, and I'm not sure what's going on. Image size. It should be squishing it. Now it should work. I don't know why it didn't before. Sometimes it's a little funky. There we go. Now we can go in and do polar coordinates again. Distort polar coordinates. Click OK. But we have to do it for the sky as well. Filter. This is why I had to back up. Polar coordinates. Click OK. Okay, now we have our sky. Our sky should be fine. Oops. Let's see. It has a smart. Oh no. Let's back it up one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and. Seems like I'm losing the plot here. We don't have enough time for this. All right, let's go ahead and go. You know what? Let's keep that. Let's go ahead and polar coordinates this again, or maybe we can just select it in our history. Yeah, let's go ahead and go up. We're gonna work with what we got. All right, so back to making sure our image is centered and that we can use it correctly. Go ahead and make a new layer and fill that layer with whatever color. It doesn't matter, because we're going to grab both of them, take them and make them a smart object, which we have to do anyway. Pop into the smart object, hide that layer, close it out, click yes. And now when you grab this, you should be centered, and we can rotate. So now we can make this, create our video timeline. Boom. I'm going to change this color to green so we can follow it a little better. And then maybe we'll make sky a blue. Cool. So then over in our world, we have a transform option with a stopwatch. We're going to add a keyframe. So what I'm going to do here, this is our timeline. This lets you scale and slide our time. To make more time in the timeline, grab this and drag it out. I'm going to pull this out to about 20 seconds. There we go. It doesn't matter if you go past, because I'm going to grab this, which is the workspace, bring our playhead, which is this, to 20 seconds. And it's like 1 second off. That's okay. Now I'm going to grab my workspace and it'll lock to that 20 seconds. So then I just want to grab the sky, bring that out as well. It's 20 seconds. Now we've got it. First thing I want to do before I transform, let me delete this. I'm going to scale this world up slightly. Press enter. Now we can transform. So I'm going to rotate this 360, but if I just rotated it 360, it would not, it would just sit still, because Photoshop thinks, well, you're just going back to the same place. What you have to do is rotate to 180 so that we start to get our rotation. Then you can come out to 10 seconds. And the reason I'm doing this at 5-second intervals is because I want to create a parallax with that sky, like you saw in the example. So from there, we have a full rotation going on. And so this is going to rotate twice. I'm going to grab these 2 frames just by clicking, just by selecting, dragging over. Come down here to keyframes, copy, move this out to 15 seconds-ish. And then back to this menu to keyframes, paste. And now we have this spinning twice. And we want to go with our sky and do the same thing. Let's see how this is going to work. We have, because I don't think I'm going to scale it. I'm just going to leave it as it is, because I think when I try and scale this, yeah, it's going to give me issues. Oh, maybe I can scale it, and then when I hit enter, it will add the polar coordinate. Yes, perfect. Okay, cool. So that works for us. Same situation with the world that we did. We're just going to go ahead and add a transform at the beginning, but this time we're going to jump to 10 seconds, somewhere in here. Control T, go 180. And I guess the, let's see how this is going to work. Is this going to rotate correctly? Oh, it does not. Okay, back that up. Let's see, how are we going to do this? That's fascinating to me. Let's take the smart, that's our polar coordinate. Maybe we'll delete this filter. We're basically there. We're basically there. I want to merge this down. I'm going to take this. I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to rasterize this. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to scale it. Let's see. Add polar coordinate first. Filter, distort, polar coordinates. Click OK. Then I'm just going to scale it up. Oh, it should be fine. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to make it a smart object. And we should be okay. We'll find out. Let's try it. Transform. Go to 10 seconds. Control or Command T. Looks like it's working fine now. Turn it 180. Come back again. All the way to 20 frames. And then 180 again. Enter. And I think we did it. I think we made it. Yeah, so now when we play it back, you'll see that the world is rotating. Let me bump in here for a second. You'll see the world is rotating a little bit slower, faster than the sky. So you get a little bit of parallax. Now you could do all kinds of things with this. You could add more locations, more buildings. Probably would be a lot more aesthetically pleasing if you had more mountains over here and maybe a couple of other buildings going on. But to wrap it up, I do want to add a little saying that we had earlier and show you how this works too. I just drug this from my libraries over into the composition. It's going to place it at the point of the playhead. So if you're like, where's my fun little saying? Well, it's there, it's just at a different time. So be sure that you drag this out to fit the entire area. Okay, now we're ready to render this. You know, center this as you see fit. I like that it covers up a little bit of that goofy center. But to render this, just come down here and you can convert to frames if you'd like, or you can render this as video. And the default settings should be fine. One thing I want to mention though is if you want to change your document size, if you're going to post this on Discord, it has to be under 8 megs, I believe. So maybe toy with your quality, you know, tweak it a bit to make sure that you can post it to the Discord if you take the animation route here. But you can also make, you know, the file size smaller by making this smaller as well. And you could just do that, but I'm not going to render it because, you know, we're out of time basically, but I want to leave you with what we created, or what we tried to create in the amount of time that we had. There you go. Thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and we will see everybody real soon. Stick around for all the content that's coming up next. I believe we have Caroline Sarret coming up next for poster design. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye.